This episode brought to you by coffee.
Hey, it's Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Today I just wanted to do a quick video. I've had a handful of people ask me, mostly on Facebook and Twitter, about the current strikes that are happening by the United Auto Workers, which is the Auto Workers Union, and General Motors. So I don't have anything politically to say. That's a tough row. I mean, I have political opinions about unions and their potential usefulness or lack thereof. But that's not really the issue here. What's at issue right now, as far as this strike goes, is the fact that UAW really dropped the ball. That's the only way I can put it. United Auto Workers, they really should have jumped on the PR game right from the get-go before they announced a strike. They should have been, when they were in negotiations, they should have been hammering away at their decisiveness, their usefulness, and their reasons behind all of the things that they're demanding. Instead, they didn't do that, at least not in the public press. It hasn't been seen. Like it's not a common theme. The news that is reporting what is the UAW side, they had to dig for it. I had to go look for it, and I'm in the automotive industry, so that's not a good time. That's just not good. UAW really dropped the ball there. So as it is, for the most part, General Motors is controlling the narrative. The narrative really is that General Motors is putting it forth as, we offered all this stuff and they still said no and decided to go on strike. And it makes the UAW look really petty. Makes them look like petulant little, millennials, or however you want to put it. It makes them look like little kids that aren't getting their way. And that's not a good place to be coming from. The UAW really needed to control this. They really needed this to work out very well for them, because they've got negotiations coming up with Ford and Fiat Chrysler, both of whom have a much larger stake and much larger UAW presence than does GM. So both of those companies are going to be watching what's happening with this and learning. And right now, that is not good for UAW, because their credibility is it's sinking. And they really should have captured right off the bat the reasons for everything that they're doing, and they really should have got the narrative under control and owned it. Instead, they failed, and for the most part, the pundits and General Motors are deciding the narrative, and that is not going to go well for UAW. So that's kind of my thoughts on it so far. As of today, the workers are on strike. The reasons for that strike are there. You can find them if you dig for them. I had to really delve down, and has to do with which factories, which production facilities General Motors decided to close, and which ones they offered to keep open or reopen. I don't see anything else. There's some wage issues, but that's not very well explained. To really boil that one down, basically, back in 2009, when the renegotiations happened after the bankruptcy, UAW agreed to allow very much lower paid employees to start out at a lower rate. So brand new employees, people who had never worked there before, could start out on the production line at somewhere around $15 or $16 an hour, versus the average for UAW, which is around $31 an hour. That was meant as a huge cost savings. So what GM did with this new negotiation was they said, look, we're going to give those people raises. We're going to push everybody up and have the starting wage be here instead of here. But it still wasn't high. I don't remember the number. It varied, I think. And then there were just a lot of other variables that were fairly complicated. And the issue here is that UAW did not come out and explain their side of that complicated scenario. So what we got is GM's side of the scenario, which sounds like they're being benevolent, handing over all this stuff, improving, benefits, healthcare, all that kind of thing, which they are. The question is, why doesn't UAW want that? And they really haven't answered that. So that is an issue. Like I said, it really all comes down to the PR game, and the United Auto Workers just dropped the ball. They did not carry the ball like they should have. They did not get in front of it, and they did not. They have not made the narrative theirs. They allowed the narrative to be created for them, which rarely works out well. So that's what I got. If you have anything to say about this, maybe you work, maybe you're in the UAW, maybe you work for GM, maybe you're on strike right now. If you've got something to say and you have more you want to illustrate, and it's not just hyperbole and it's not just your BS one-liner talking points. If you actually have something to say, put it down there. Let me know. If you have a link that has more information that's really well done, that's not a news outlet having to dig to find it. So if it's from UAW themselves, I would really love to be proved wrong and to see that there instead is some sort of media bias here, but I really don't see it. So if you've got something, put it in the comments below. If you have a question or if you want to know something, you can always hit me up at aarononautos.com, and you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc. So just look me up, and if you do hit me up there, make sure to tag me so that I see that. All right, this has been Aaron, aarononautos.com. Talk to you again soon.
Subscribe.